here on what we are calling Take It To 'em Tuesdays. As you prepare to receive your Sankofa newsletter, I want to just give you some brief words of motivation and inspiration. So today, just want to say a brief word about speaking with purpose and power. As we continue to celebrate the 50th anniversary this year of hip hop, August 11th, 1973, we are talking about a movement that, yes, involved DJs, yes, involved breakdancing, yes, involved graffiti, but it also involved this notion of knowledge and ultimately being able to what? Offer words of power, being able to offer words of purpose, and being able to offer words that helped us redefine and define ourselves. So make sure as you go through the rest of your week, make sure as you go through the rest of your month, think about one, what words are you allowing to influence you in a way that's going to be powerful, that's going to be positive, that's going to uplift, that's going to transform, and what words are you allowing to impact you in a negative way? What I want to do is offer you or remind you to make sure this week that you, and if not you, make sure that you encourage somebody else to speak words of purpose, speak words of power, speak words that continue to feed your mind and spirit. What hip hop did, if it did nothing else, it offered a counter narrative. So where there was hopelessness, hip hop offered a word of hope. Where there was despair, hip hop offered a word of deliverance. Where people were feeling unloved, hip hop offered a word that made folks know that what I can name myself something and I can love my people and I can articulate a word of love. So I leave you with this affirmation that I used to give to those who I taught. And it's simply this: I believe I am built to achieve. I believe I'm built to exceed. I believe I'm built to succeed. So I encourage you this week to what? Say some things to yourself. And what happens is they get in your subconscious mind to the point that when something negative happens, when somebody does something that ultimately is possibly not the best thing for you, your subconscious will now have some words that you can now what? Speak to yourself and hopefully offer those words back to somebody else. So again, this week and the rest of this month, speak words with power, speak words with purpose, and speak words that help to liberate, transform, and uplift the vibration in the world. This is our Take 'em to 'em Tuesday moment. Be prepared. Let's go.
Insisting on teaching the boy to become a man. So what is he going to become? Whatever you want to make him. Football player, basketball player, transgender, what do you want him to be? I didn't realize he had every kind of option. And then let's say this. I'm not undermining anything that happens to somebody from a traffic standpoint of view. Absolutely. I know greatly about 45 to 46% of people who say that they've experienced and decide to go to another sex were raped or molested or accosted in some kind of way. Well, don't ignore that as a reality.
Oh, yeah.
Don't say I was born just this way. And why am I saying this? Because I'm defending the integrity of being a heterosexual. When you're walking in the door, now I want to have discussions with my 6 and 7-year-old in elementary school. How do you get a chance to come in and talk about that? See, I think these are places where we're invading on fatherhood, invading into the family. Putting our business in the street is one thing, but letting somebody run your business in your house is a no-no. Total no-no.
Totally.
So I want to say one other thing. I'm going to ask y'all how you feel about this too. And the roles and responsibilities. Okay. If a man's in the house, now one thing that I remember Maria saying to me, it was hard for a man to call another man dad. That is hard if you know that that's not your dad. I speak highly of brothers who step up, what they call stepfather. Father's gone, you step up, now you step up. You stepped up for that role. But I'm not for this. You and mama sitting down having a discussion about that. See, therein lies the problem. You're talking about what 72% of them ain't home. You don't acknowledge the ones that ain't home. He didn't, many of them didn't leave. You follow what I'm saying? And then many of the ones that's missing, you don't allow the daddy to come back home. I got brothers I'm working with on a regular basis. Can't come pick him up, it's a fight.
Absolutely. Man, I got to be the police, this, that, and the third. No. I know some stuff like that. Man, I don't want to go. I said, if it was me, I would just have to pick a fight this time. Because I'm not going to not be around my son and just leave him to happen. So that was the thing when we look back and see what the ancestors did. They laid out a roadmap. Again, back to that roles and responsibility.
Yeah.
They had it. If you look at the African societies, we say this is how they were able to be able to keep and maintain social order. They didn't have a whole lot of, oh, I'm this or I'm that, I wake up tomorrow, I'm a drink. It wasn't none of that. You know what I'm saying? They had clearly defined things that they would help them, that helped them for millennia and millennia. But once you get away from that and start deviating, then it's like you say, you can make them whatever that you want to be. I mean, it comes in as a blank slate. And then you're leaving them to happenstance. Well, I hope my child turns out like this. No, no, no. We're going to make your child turn out like this. And there's going to always be some, you know, it's kind of like every race, I'm sure just like black people, got some sellouts. You know, we know that we grooming people to be like this. You always have a few suckers, a few sellouts, a few waywardly people. You always have that. But at the end of the day, if you set up a system for them to be able to follow along with, then they have a pattern that they can go out and say, all right, this makes sense. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
and if the two people who created you are already in disharmony, we got some problems to begin with. So I think the first step in putting together a system of change in society for black people starts at somebody else's home. Even if it don't work in my home doesn't mean that you can't take the information you have gathered from others and use it. The mother and the father are the two supreme beings that you know now. They are the ones that you came from. Even if they don't get along with each other, well, let's make an agreement that we will get along with each other. We will co-parent in a responsible manner that he can still be developed, period. If we want to come into an agreement, there's an issue having to do with sexuality. See, these are discussions now. It's not something that you're orientating into naturally. Oh, what do you want to be? Well, shit, I want to be a fireman. That don't mean that I want to be gay. See, I'm talking to people who are having this conversation. Lady just told me the other day, well, I asked him and, what he wanted to do. I'm like, what do you really want? Do you want to be gay? I said, why would you ask your son that he want to be gay? Well, that's how we're going out here now.
that was a response?
Yeah, that's how we're going out here. And I said, well, what's going on in your house? You set the standard. And see, that's what I'm saying. So once you get those two, you get those agreements, then realize he begins to make a decision at 2 years old. He can say no. You call them terrible twos, but they're really discovery twos, trying to find everything out. And they may discover somewhere along the line that my dad is a dirty dog because I keep hearing my mama and my aunties and my sisters constantly talk about it. I think there's a first initial attack.
Access bills outside of that. So that helped me to get started. My mom is still here every day. My sister, everything that y'all eat, she put that together. So I think
I just want to say that you guys are doing an amazing thing. One thing that I really want to identify is the fact that you are 4 black men standing up, setting the foundation for us, and that is something that we truly need. And so I just want to say thank you for that, and I appreciate you for that.
Thank you. What you just saw was a public acknowledgement between black men and black women. We need our support from our black women. I'm not just talking about financial support. I'm talking about the love and support and the acknowledgement. That fires us up, that keeps us going. We are not in competition. If something has happened to the black woman, and if something has happened to the black child, and something has happened to the black man, it's not us individuals. You know who that's happened to? That's happened to the black family. Okay. Is there anybody else like D? Ain't no question.
He says, I'm going to be an entrepreneur. I said, and do what? He said, sell books. The child I had to whip to make read. He started with a bookstore. Jocelyn told me one day that she wanted to be a chef. She wanted to own her own restaurant. What your children put out there, this. There are some that say very positive things, but you pray over what they tell you. They combine the bookstore and the restaurant. And she's been following the mom's footsteps for years. So pray for her, okay?
Hotel. Now, you said you were going to first of all, I'd like to say
another big hand for Sankofa.
Yes.
They truly have been an extended family to us. And truly they are, in fact, these three brothers are platinum friends here. When that ice storm came, pipes busted in our home and everything. This is the importance of networking. And I told them, I said, a pipe's burst, and you know, what we gonna do? He called people on came over right away, tightened up everything, got the water out so we didn't have to worry about our house getting all messed up. So this is the importance of us every time we come together, we should try to network. Everybody has a genius within us. And I think that's what we have to lock into. And without that genius, we wouldn't be doing what we're doing today. The reason why we're here today is because these brothers have unlocked the genius within themselves. In fact, all four of them. When I say my platinum friends because I know them personally, we talk all the time. Okay, so these brothers have been real brothers, and I think that in order for us to keep in real time, our ancestors had what they call a Keparat time. And what is a Keparat time? They saw time just like you wear a watch on your wrist, is that right?
That's right.
Why do you wear that watch? The time of your day, is that right? You know where you got to be at this time, at this time, at this time, at this time. Just think about a Keparat time. Our ancestors saw that at 6 o'clock, that's when the sun rose. When the mom, he calls me every day, he said, brother, how you feel? I said, I rose like Ra to live again. Yeah. I mean, I rose like the sun to live again. So you're starting your clock again.
Right.
All right? But this is your lifetime clock. So 6 o'clock in the morning, imagine you're born at that time. Going by fives at 9 o'clock, you'll be what? Going by fives. Remember, we built the pyramids.
That's right.
Going by fives, you'll be what? 15. All right? So say you're born 6 o'clock in the morning, by 9 o'clock you'll be 15. So by 12 o'clock you'll be what? 30. That's high noon. All right? High noon. And giving thanks to the fact that about 27 I was sitting on top of the pyramids. All right? So 6 o'clock you're what? 60. 60. Going by fives, okay? So I just turned 70, so I'm 8 o'clock. So I don't have time to mess around with foolishness. All right? If somebody's being ignorant, I just walk away. I don't have enough time. All right? So that means when you look at it that way, that means that you have to look at your life as a time clock. And you know what you have to do. And I think that if we lock into positive brothers and sisters who are going somewhere, we can collectively pull that power together and go forward. We waste too much time with ignorance. That waste our time. Tie our time on, okay? Yeah, excuse me here. So brothers and sisters, I want to say I wasn't expecting, I just heard that Mom was having his buffet. So I love the buffet. I said, we got to come up to the buffet. It's great. Right? Go down. And so we made sure we didn't eat all day. I wasn't coming in here to talk. I came in here.
My name is Don Washington, and I'm a producer, musician, husband, father, and we come here to Sankofa, man. The food is amazing, and the founder, the owners are incredible, and hey, they're in a good area to come and get vegan dishes because we're actually vegan. And the chef is amazing, which is the owner's sister. Matter of fact, this is a family-oriented business. The owner's mom is here, and
his family. And I'm telling you, I appreciate Mr. Damond. I really appreciate him. The food is amazing. You gotta get here. You got to get here, okay? You don't have to take it from me. You really don't, but I'm urging you to. Get here. Thank you.
Some of those myths that say, oh, this person just is not in the house. I mean, we know that that's a reality that does happen, but I don't think it happens as much as they would say. And it's what happens is you fighting up against the whole system. As a man, you're gonna fight. At the same time, you wise and you say, well, look, if I can fight this particular fight, but it's 100 men out there and it's just me and I got 10 bullets. You know what I'm saying? A wise man gonna say, well, no, I can't go out there and do that fight. I need to figure out something else. You know what I'm saying? I gotta be able to throw a Molotov, something out there to get it. But that ain't gonna work. You see what I'm saying? So I think sometimes men bring kind of that mentality.
What he said, the 3 C's before we started the show, we generally just start out with a conversation to kind of get an idea on our philosophy, how we feel at the time. We were talking about the 2 C's. And when he spoke about character, that's one of the things that I seek to do every day with young men that I deal with. But it's hard to be able to have character without going through some type of trial. So the idea is to teach. That's got to be core, and that's part of what we're doing now. Here's the 2 C's: circle of concern and circle of control. See, you can be concerned about multiple things. And the fact that we say that their attention span is so short is because they're bombarded by so many other different tools that's coming at them at one time. So now you're concerned about all these things, but you have another one, that's a circle of control. Control means to have options, not to be able to stabilize something. It's to have options. So when the brother say, I lost control, it means he's lost his options. The idea that, when I'm coming back to what you're saying, comes back to character. That's something that has to be taught. It's not just a word. It has to be something that has to be demonstrated. So I want to make sure that when we say this, even when Dee and us are talking about ancestors, go back to your great-grandma and your great-grandpa, go find those pictures. When you say you was raised in we got this microcosm of this idea about the African village. It has to apply to socialization today. What is that village? It was my grandma, it was my Aunt May, it was all the houses that I could go to. It was, even if I went somewhere, I always had clothes in another house. Sometimes I think what happens is we lose in the transformation or the transition from our culture to reality, and they don't see where it works together.
When I think about community or chaos, and also when I think about where we are, the root word of community is unity. Right. And when I look into our community and I look with my third eye, I see more chaos than community. I see a lack of unity in our community. I see a lack of shared values. I see a lack of shared principles. My good friend over there, Brother Curtis, talks about the fact that before we can do anything else, we need to be unified. And the question is, what is that thing that's going to unify us?
Sankofa.
Black to the building, black to the feeling, and black to the healing. You know what time it is. It's time for the Sankofa Talks, y'all. We're about to break this thing off. I am your man, I'm Rashidi, a.k.a. Papa Rod. And as usual, I'm always feeling great to be a part of the brotherhood. I'm going to pass the mic on to my other brother on the far left.
Men Keparata, who made the greatest warrior that ever come this way.
Excuse that delayed reaction.
This is In the Moment podcast, so everything we do is in the moment. It's not necessarily rehearsed. It's not written down. Just a group of brothers who are gaining understanding and sharpening their minds and skills through their conversations with each other. And so we're glad to be sharing with you here on the day. Let me let the brother introduce himself.
The proprietor.
The proprietor, the owner of Sankofa, known by many names, Cashmere, Damond, Ain't New Toi, The Beginning.
Sankofa, y'all.
Real talk.
What I'd like to do before we jump off, being that we just talked about Sankofa, I would like to just ask each one of y'all, what does Sankofa mean to you guys?
Well, the first idea of Sankofa for me is not just going back, but if you're going to go back, you got to go back with a purpose. And I saw it first with dealing with something as a social interventionist, was to go back and resolve some of the trauma that was going on in my family. Obviously, I loved my history, and that was what it meant to me at first. But it also means dual now, because I want to be able to take some responsibility in my current liberation of my family. But I'll say this too, with working with you, with going back, we've created our own history. And to go back and see from the time that you started to where we are now and all the things that occurred in between, from some of the greatest lecturers that ever walked this planet who walked inside your doors, for seeing you transitioning just selling incense to the point that you're selling dinners and foods that now can keep us healthy. So all that is coming back so we can come forward.
Right on. How about you, B?
Sankofa for me, man, is having the opportunity to be able to sit, communicate, and gain self-knowledge under a symbol that our ancestors have created and have witnessed through their understanding of the auditory forces of nature, and have been able to take what they have observed and created this icon of an image, not an image of McDonald's, not an image of a Whataburger, but an image that actually reflects the culture and the understanding of who we are. And so for me to have the bird Sankofa, then we're always in transformation mode, and we're always seeking the knowledge of ourselves, and we're going to always have to go back in order for us to be able to move forward. And the myths and the stereotypes as it relates to black men. And what do we really think about at this point in life? Now, last week when we were thinking about this topic, we was like, Twi had his dad in his life. I didn't have my father in my life.
I did.
And you said you did, and had his. So we all share very different perspectives.
My father was a victim of the Korean War, so that was the issue there.
So we all had different perspectives in regards to what is happening. But I don't want us to forget, and Quasi touched on it a little bit, and I was going to shoot this to everybody at the table in regards to any understanding of the atrocity that took place when you start taking men away from their families intentionally. So we can't forget that, and I think we are very light in our communication. And Brother Damond, whenever
I can fight this particular fight, but it's 100 men out there, and it's just me, and I got 10 bullets. You know what I'm saying? A wise man gonna say, well, no, I can't go out there and do that fight. I need to figure out something else. You know what I'm saying? I gotta be able to throw
Your child now. I'm not. Don't start no conversation about outside your house.
That's good.
If you have a child, if you have a grandchild,
unless you got one outside.
Yeah, unless you got one outside your house, and you need to take care of that priority too, because it's still yours. But after you take care.
Coming to Dallas, I was a teacher in that. I'm originally from Cleveland, Ohio. I was in Nashville, Tennessee. And I had the opportunity to teach like 100 black boys. It was a social and emotional specialist. Now again, to your point,
Now it's SEL now.
I didn't have the restrictions because I only took the position if I could have complete freedom. That's the only reason, that's the only way I would take the position if I could have complete freedom, which meant that I had conversations with every cats who was GDs, cats who was vice lords, cats who was entrepreneurs, every identity formation of black male identity.
Around the fight that we feel like we're in right now.
I want to deal with it from a different point of view from where I was raised, because like the lens that I look through is totally different than what I hear and what I see all the time. I understand it, but like I'm gonna deal with it from, on my mom's side, we talking 3 generations of parents being together.
You talking no generations on my side.
We talking about 3 on my that we are.
I'm talking about 0 on mine.
Yeah, but I'm saying on my mom's side.
Everybody on the same team over there, brother.
Then on my dad's side, we still talking 3 generations of everybody being together. But check this out. Until the father made his transition. On each side, the male was the one that made the transition.
My grandmother and grandfather. Yeah, my grandfather. Yeah.
So
See, that's the percentage we was talking about earlier. That majority.
But hold on, I ain't through. Hold on. Then the neighborhood that I grew up in, Rashida, you know the neighborhood. We was in the same neighborhood. My friends, all my friends, all of us had our mother and father in the house, in the neighborhood that I grew up. Brother, you know the neighborhood. You was in the by Atwell.
Right.
Yeah, Atwell. You know the Atwell area.
Still there.
This is probably like one of the best nachos I've had in a long time.
Like ever. Like the jalapenos, they like are super fresh.
I was looking at the cheese though. Like, what is the cheese out of?
I have no idea.
I have to get it some more.
But it's a 10 out of 10.
It's like not super cheesy, which I like because I don't eat a lot of dairy.
Yeah.
But it has like a soft kind of texture to it.
Definitely. And like it's like the lettuce is not like that
Yeah.
cheap, you know, like
It's
it
like, are
actually
you giving me a
tastes-
salad?
No, literally like
You're gonna give me
it's like
nachos.
super fresh.
Yeah.
Definitely. Like I don't even feel like it's my cheat day or anything.
So I think I would probably do the nachos next time, and then I would probably definitely do a burger on the side.
Yeah.
Because I feel like this was enough for us to share. And I
Definitely.
still only ate a little bit of it.
Literally, because even still take some home, you know.
Well, you're probably gonna take more than me, but I'm But yeah, this was really good.
But yeah, even the tomatoes, like it literally has a little bit of everything. The guacamole, it's fire.
We got
It's
onions
delectable.
in here, tomatoes, jalapenos.
No, you're
like all of
time.
it.
Everything.
Oh, you know, I noticed they didn't have sour cream, which is good because I don't do sour cream. But yeah,
Definitely.
I like this.
I mean, I love the fries, they're well seasoned and stuff.
Oh. Yeah. You first.
The fish is really good, it's well seasoned. I love the fries too as well. It has a really nice touch.
Okay. I'm enjoy. The fries are nice. I definitely enjoyed the burger. I felt like you can't even tell this, like not me. You know? So.
What it do, family? As we are in the month of May, we want to invite you to connect with Sankofa Kitchen. Of course, check us out on our website, sankofakitchen.com. Check us out on TikTok. Check us out also on Instagram. But want to invite you this month of May. May, of course, as many of us know, is Mother's Day this month. That, of course, gives us the opportunity to celebrate this month. It gives us the opportunity to recognize and appreciate those who have been our biological mothers and others, right, who have mothered us, who have been a part of the village. But it's also what Mental Health Awareness Month. We take very seriously what keeping ourselves together mentally. So many things going on in our world day in and day out. So many mass shootings, so much trauma consistently being brought at us. It becomes important and critical that you are doing what's necessary for your mental health so that you can remain stable, so that you can remain creative, and so that you can continue to maximize your potential. But May is also the month in which we celebrate that prophet, we celebrate that leader, we celebrate that liberator in the form of El Hajj Malik El Shabazz, better known as Malcolm X. His birthday, May 19th, 1925. This would have been his 98th year. And one thing that we know about Sankofa Kitchen is always giving us what information about Malcolm and others mothers who helped us keep and sustain our mental health. And May, we're inviting you to go to our website, shop online, and see the resources we have available that could be useful for Mother's Day, that could be useful to honor the life of Malcolm, and that could be useful to help us with our mental health. And what we know that Malcolm and the nation focused on, and others focused on in our community, that knowledge of self became significant and important to help us take back and keep and sustain our righteous minds, which was important for us to maintain our mental health. So again, we invite you this month, shop with us for Mother's Day. We invite you this month, grab something from us about Malcolm, and we invite you this month to look at the resources that we have available that can help us keep and maintain a healthy state of mentality in a world full of chaos. This month, Sankofa Kitchen, shop with us today.